live in a Fox Business exclusive. Citron Research founder Andrew left. And a note here. The last time that you appeared here on the show was April 22nd of this year. And at that point, you were long Amazon, you were long First Solar, and you were long China equities. You were short volatility. We should show people right now on your screen how those trades have done. Amazon since then up 34%. First Solar up 52%. Chinese stocks, we looked at an ETF here, and that is up 22%, not to mention how the volatility has dropped. I mean, we've seen the VIX go down to, yesterday, the low of 2025.
I mean, volatility completely collapsed. When I was on your show last time, I wish I was as good as those numbers all the time. Very fortunate there by having an administration that had control of the economy. When people were second-guessing what was going to happen, they understood the effects of tariffs. They understood the long tail that would be there. They took the panic. It took an opportunity of seeing panic in the markets and saying now is a great time to buy. And that's what that was.
Okay, great time to buy. And right now, do you think it's still a great time to buy the overall market as we are at record after record?
What's amazing about the market, if you look at it today, is the rotation. So if you look at the Dow up today, you see healthcare names up today. I think as we speak, NVIDIA is actually down today. Which is pretty unique.
Yeah.
Yes, slightly down. So it's nice to see a rotation in the market. We see as housing stocks are picking up today. So it's specific stocks, more importantly, than the indices. The S&P can go higher, but it probably, in my opinion, won't go higher with the same concentrated names that we've seen over the past 5 to 6 months.
Okay. That said, as we look at some of the names that are flagging at the moment, Dow losers, Walmart, Microsoft, JP Morgan Chase, Cisco, NVIDIA, as you
some of the greatest companies in this country.
Greatest companies. So are those a buy at the moment?
It's one day. This is one day. They're down one day. It's beautiful to see a rotation in the market. That shows real strength in an economy. That shows real strength in a stock market that is not so narrow.
VIX, week to date, month to date, year to date. You could look at any metric, and it is pretty interesting to see the dive. Of course, April 3rd, April 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, that was right around the time of the Liberation Day announcement, and that spooked the markets. What did you see then that said, that's not going to last? Let me short the VIX.
What you saw right there is people thought at the time that the tariffs, that this administration did not know what they were doing whatsoever. It was going to cause global turmoil. And I didn't believe that at all. I thought that Trump knew what he was doing. I thought the people around him knew what they were doing, and they would properly adjust. And that's exactly what's happened. So similarly, we've seen the same thing in the market now. By the VIX being so low, no matter who's going to be the next Treasury Secretary, no matter what happens, how many basis points we drop, don't drop, whatever it may be, the market's telling you with the volatility index at the lowest point right now that people are not looking to get short the market. There's confidence in the system. There's confidence in the administration, and there's confidence that no matter who is chosen, we will move on properly. And the numbers don't lie. That's through the VIX.
Well, let's get to the big short you are taking right now, and that is against Palantir. Palantir has been a huge momentum stock. They've continued to increase their profits and increase their sales. This is a hot company. What do you see here that tells you to short Palantir?
It's not what I see here. It's obvious in this way. Unfortunately, it's become a retail darling. It's a great stock. The last thing I am is a hater. I like Alex Karp. I like Alex Karp's politics. I like Alex Karp as a person. He's a feared leader. I think the company has done some great mission control data analysis. It's a wonderful company. But if this was the greatest company that was ever created, and we gave it the same multiples, let's say NVIDIA in 2023, the stock still can get cut by 2/3, and that would be like 35 times sales. I stopped even looking at the ratios because they become so absurd.
Well, the forward PE.
What's the forward PE?
290. Okay. Folks, that is huge.
So the crazy part about it is if you're Alex Karp, and if I put that into Foundry, if I put that into a Palantir system, you can't be a company that analyzes big data and then tells investors to ignore big data. Because there's never been a company that has had that type of multiple or that type of PE that's not corrected 50%.
Okay, but people, let's just say a month ago, said Palantir's too rich. Since then, it's up 24% over 1 month. Over 6 months, up 57%. Year to date, up 145%. The Wall Street is littered with at least more than a few people who bet against this company. Why do you think you're right at this moment in time?
I'm probably not. I mean, it could go higher. It's part of being a short seller or being short any stock. I don't expect to pick the absolute high in the market whatsoever. I have a balanced portfolio. I'm long a lot of NASDAQ names. I'm long Amazon. I'm long Apple. I think those are wonderful names. And I happen to be short Palantir. When the market does correct, if the market does correct, when the problem with the Palantir, if you own the stock, and I don't know where it is right now as I speak to you. Let's say it's at $185.
184.58.
If it goes to 165, do I want to buy it now? Or if it goes to 155, I mean, the stock really does not get cheap till the stock's $40, $50. I mean, the stock really becomes, it's still the greatest company that ever was on a multiple scale if the stock's $65, $70. And that's why, running a balanced portfolio, I'm short Palantir.
Right now, it's got that competitive moat that Warren Buffett talks about. It is best in class. Databricks hasn't gone public. You have said, at least in the commercial break, you just said, watch out for Databricks when it does go public. Why?
Well,
what do you think it has that Palantir does not?
They're a direct competitor, Palantir. They raised a valuation. They raised money like 8 months ago, whatever it was. And if you put a comparative valuation on Palantir, I'd put Palantir at they're very similar revenue size, although Databricks has many more customers than they do. And as you go down to corporate, so forget about government. If you go down to enterprise, they're a direct competitor. So by the way, if you want to call them best in class, I'm sure Microsoft will have something to say about that. Amazon will have something to say about that. It's analyzing big data to make better decisions. Many companies do that. Not saying Palantir, even if they're best in class. NVIDIA is best in class at GPUs. They control 80% of the GPU market. And at their highest point, they were 35 times sales in 2023.
A lot less than 250 times. Okay, well, that's for PE. So you're long. Let's get to your longs before we say goodbye here. You are long rocket companies. Rocket companies, of course, has Rocket Mortgage, a lot of interest rate sensitive companies. If you believe what Scott Bessent said right here on Fox Business yesterday, that we are now heading toward a rate cut, maybe 25 basis points, maybe 50. You can look at the Fed funds futures right now. For the first time, I believe, since ever, we are looking, at least for September, a 2% possibility of a 50 basis point cut. That happened overnight after Scott Bessent said what he said. 98% odds of a 25 basis point cut. How does that positively or not impact rocket companies? Because you're long the company.
Well, I've been fortunate. I've been publicly long rockets. It's around $11.50. It was only in May. Now it's already $19. There's a lot of pent-up demand in this country for refinancing, for home buying. Obviously, that's going to be the first derivative of lowering interest rates. More importantly, AI. Rocket has used AI to create a better mousetrap. They finance loans in less time. They do it more efficient at it. They'll save money. They acquired Mr. Cooper. So this is a company that has potential to be the Amazon of housing.
Okay, I mean, short-term week to date, it's up 14%. Month to date, up 29%. Year to date, up 70%. You still like it at these levels? You would tell somebody right now to go long if they're not in the stock?
Yeah, cautiously, and if it goes lower, you can buy more. This is not a Palantir-type situation. You could buy some here, and if it goes lower, you can buy more.
Andrew Left, good to see you. Thank you very much.
Nice to be here.
How closely do you watch the Fed? Because we're waiting on September.
I trust the government.
Okay, it's a fresh opinion. Do you trust the Fed as well? Good to see you.
Thank you.